Well, outside of City Hall, the Greater Baltimore Committee is focused on Baltimore City's economic development. Joining us now is the new president and CEO, Mark Anthony Thomas. Good to see you, sir.
Good to see you, too.
I like what you're looking at. You say, listen, I want this whole region to be connected. Let's work together for the betterment of the economics all over, yeah?
That's correct. When you think about what the GBC was set up to be almost 70 years ago, it was designed to really provide that private sector collaboration to move the city and the region forward.
Sure.
With our merger with the Economic Alliance, it gave us an opportunity to reset how we do that and ensure that we're aligned with the best practices across the country.
How do we look across the country? As other cities look in, if we're vying for something that's a one-on-one battle, where does Baltimore shake out there? And what can we do to change it?
You know, Baltimore's actually, we're not performing terribly,
okay.
Right? Our economy's growing pretty rapidly in the city. As a region, we're pretty stagnant because a lot of other markets have just been much more competitive, right?
Sure.
And so it gives us a chance, and we've done this with releasing a 10-year plan, with launching a number of initiatives to start to create some momentum and build off of the existing announcements and strategies that have been underway.
Part of the economics, we were talking about this a little bit, is housing. And in downtown, you see a lot of things growing there. You see a lot of apartments and condos come in a very city-centric kind of way. But it sounds like we need to balance it a bit with some of the neighborhoods that really have been blighted over years.
That's correct. In the city, even after COVID, there was this initial shock of maybe people are leaving cities. A lot of those trends have reversed. And so Baltimore is consistent with people wanting to be in like well-designed urban neighborhoods. We do have a lot of blight. And so we've established a partnership with the mayor's office and the group Build to look at the vacant house issue across the city. And there hasn't historically been a scalable solution to the problem. People have tried pilots and smaller initiatives, and so that is something that we're going to be working on pretty aggressively for the next decade.
Tell me about Tech Hub. It was something that I think it was a regional thing that we were hoping that everyone could be a part of. We missed out on the first time, but we got a grant to resubmit. Tell me about what that initiative is and what will it do for the city?
Yeah, sure. So the CHIPS Act, which a lot of people haven't followed, is a major federal investment to catalyze more manufacturing, R&D, and innovation in America. And so we were selected to be one of the 31 hubs, which was a highly competitive opportunity. And so over the next 5 years, there's going to be $10 billion worth of funding that will be deployed to those 31 hubs. And so we missed out on the first phase of funding because they selected 12 markets, and we haven't learned specifically why those markets were selected. But we'll come back even stronger in the next phase. But the intent is for each market to receive at least $150 million, which is pretty substantial, and upward to $1 billion over the lifeblood of the program to grow their innovation ecosystems. And we want to be as competitive as we can to maximize that investment.
You're with all the business leaders in Baltimore. Tell me about the jobs outlook. I think when you talk to people who live in Baltimore, one of the biggest concerns is finding work and being able to get to that job. Are we doing all right to make sure Baltimoreans can find a place to work right now?
I think we're starting that process. Right? So it's, to some extent, we're breaking down a lot of silos that existed. When you think about even just GBC merging with the Economic Alliance, that was one silo broken. But now that we can unify the business leadership with the philanthropic leadership and the civic leadership, it gives us such a great opportunity to say, what are the big challenges we can collaborate on? And you've highlighted some of those, and we can set the tables to be successful in making progress.
There's some folks who don't know about the organization and what you guys are able to do for the city. So let's give them the mission statement. When you go into a meeting, what are you hoping that you'll be able to come out with for the city of Baltimore?
Yeah, so what I tell people is we're the business voice for the region. We're fighting for the future of our economy. We're strengthening the systems that make the region thrive and successful on a global scale. And then we're creating tables for people to collaborate. And that's really important.
For people who do want to reach out, might want to be part of this or have an idea for you, what's the best way to get in touch with GBC?
Yeah, just visit gbc.org. And then follow all of our news. We tell the story of Baltimore and the region in a way that will start to really change how people perceive the market. And that's important work that even locally people need to follow.
You did some work in Pittsburgh. We won't hold that against you. You're purple and black now, sir. Good to see you.
Good to see you, too.
Thanks for coming by.